came up here and said, man, they had a great life. They were raised in church. Their mamas and daddies brought them to Sunday school, and they accepted Christ because they were 12 years old and they knew everything. My life wasn't exactly like that. When I was little, I didn't get to come to Sunday school very often. My dad was a drunk. He very seldom was sober. Occasionally, when he would sober up, he'd bring me to Sunday school. And when I came to Sunday school, I listened very carefully. When I was about 12, I was in Boy Scouts. And I was right back there, under the balcony, right back there. Church wasn't going on. I was here as a Boy Scout cleaning up the church. And I was alone back then. And I felt the presence of God in this place. And because my life was not so good, I needed God in my life. I'd heard enough in Sunday school to know that I needed God. So right back there, I started praying. And I asked God to help me with my life. And to come into my life, and He did, right back there. And He's been with me ever since. Sometimes I haven't lived my life like I should, but He didn't leave me. He's been with me ever since. And now, that happened about 56 years ago. 56 years ago. And now I'm getting kind of old. I got aches and pains that y'all don't have. But I know God's still in my life. And whatever happens to me, He's going to take care of it. That's what happens when you invite Christ into your life. He helps you to live an abundant life. So that's kind of the story of my life. Your story may be different. And your time of accepting Christ may be a different time. So I'm going to let these other guys talk a little bit.
We're going to have an age contest here. No, I'm not as old as Mike. I'm a little bit different. I didn't grow up in a Baptist church, and I'm not going to go into my religion stuff, but we weren't dumped in a tank or a lake or a river. And but we were baptized when we were very, very young and really didn't understand a lot about God. But we were always taught as we grew up that we were Christians. And so you kind of knew we were. But I always struggled a little bit with that because I didn't really understand, well, what does it really mean? Because I never really kind of felt it. And the good thing for me was it was Boy Scouts also for me. My Boy Scouts, we camped every month. And we would go up in the mountains, and sometimes twice a month. And we would always have a Sunday church service. And they would always send us, the last thing they would do is send us out on our own to say a little prayer and talk to God on our own away from everybody else. And for that reason, I've always felt closer to God when I'm out in the woods, walking in a stream, or walking in the mountains somewhere. That's when I feel the closest. But the one thing it taught me, and I learned a lot from that time, was I learned to talk to God on my own, alone. And the one thing I want to urge all of y'all to do, talk to God when you're alone. Just talk to Him. He really likes to hear from you. And if you will do that, that will help you build a relationship with Him. And so when I was 18 years old, I was out alone like Mike, except I wasn't in a church. I was up on the top of a mountain. And I had that feeling that God was there with me and that He was going to change my life. And I made my commitment to Him there. And then, of course, I've done more things in my life after that. But I just really want to urge each of you to spend a little bit of time every day talking to God. And I think it'll have a big impact on your life.
How many of you go to this church? Okay. How many of you go to a different church? Okay. About half and half. I grew up in this church. We moved here when I was 2 years old, and that was 20 years ago. And I grew up in this church. I grew up in this church. This is really the only church I've ever known, but you might have your church, and you might have gone to different churches, but this is the only church I've ever known. At one time, when I was 10 years old, I had been going to Vacation Bible School at this church. I had been going to, we had a day camp back then once a summer, and I did all the activities that this church had. I was here every Sunday morning. I was here every Sunday night, because we used to have church on Sunday nights. I was here every Wednesday, and that's all I've ever known my whole life growing up when I was your age. A lot of my friends didn't have that, so I was fortunate to grow up in this church. But when I was 10 years old, we had a revival, and I know some of you don't know what that means, but it's kind of like a Vacation Bible School for the whole family. You would come and listen to a preacher, and then you would break off into groups for your age. But I was at a revival when I was 10 years old, and I was sitting over here. Mike was back there at a different time, but I was sitting over here, and I felt something in my heart. And I thought, what is that? Is that God speaking to me? And so I sat real still, and I listened, and it was God speaking to me. And I just felt this overwhelming presence come on me, and I thought, you know what, this is what they're talking about when they say it's time for you to give your heart to Jesus. And I gave my heart to Jesus when I was 10, and then I got baptized, because I'm a Baptist, so I got baptized in the baptistry after that time. But I just want you to know that it doesn't matter if you go to church here or if you go to a church in another place. I hope you're growing up in a church, because now I listen all the time when God speaks to me. Sometimes God says, you shouldn't have said that, that was ugly. And I have to say, oh, and I have to go apologize. And sometimes God says, good job, you're doing a good job. And I have to listen to that too to remind me that I am trying to do what God tells me to. So like Ben said, you listen for when God speaks to you. He's not going to tap you on the shoulder sometimes, but sometimes he'll say, listen. He'll show you something, and he'll want you to listen. So be listening for when God speaks to you, okay?
I've been doing Vacation Bible School for about 7 or 8 years. This is the first year that I've done the Bible story with Mike Lowe. And he is the most awesome Bible storyteller ever. And I've really enjoyed it, Mike. You're awesome. And this week, we've been talking about connecting. We've connected with faith and love, trust, others, and with life. And last night was kind of sad. I was sitting on the bed going over our last Bible story for this week, and kind of got to the end of my book. And I found something. I thought, this is neat. I like this. It's a prayer. And it wraps up all of our Bible stories for this week and all of our Bible verses that we've learned from memory. So if everyone will bow your heads, I'm going to say this prayer for us. Think of some reasons you have faith in Jesus. Thank him. Spend a moment telling Jesus that you love him. Thank Jesus for giving his life so you can be saved from sin. If you're ready to trust him as Savior, tell him. Ask Jesus to give you courage to speak up for him. Ask Jesus for opportunities to show his love to friends, family, and total strangers. Amen. Boys and girls, I hope that you take all of these stories and Bible verses that we have this week and share those with your family and your friends. And I've had an awesome week. Thank you.
This has been so much fun, hasn't it, y'all?
Yes.
Well, I want you to know, and some of y'all probably know this, but some of you might not know if you don't come here regularly. We have fun not just once a year at Vacation Bible School, but we have fun all year round. There's always something good going on. And when I was your age, I didn't know much about church. I didn't get to go to all these fun things. My parents asked me once, do you want to go to Sunday school? And I didn't know what Sunday school was. I thought it was school on Sunday. So I thought, that's reading, writing, arithmetic. No, why would I want to do that on Sunday? I get 2 days off from that. I didn't know what it meant. And I wish I had given it a shot, because it's nothing like that. I hope you like school, but it's a completely different thing. Just being part of the church and people your age and getting to hang out with other Christians and getting to know what it means to be a Christian. When I was little, I didn't get all of that. I didn't really know exactly what it really meant to be a Christian. I didn't have other people around me telling me. So I didn't know what it was like to go to Sunday school, Vacation Bible School, to go to church. There was so much I missed out on when I was your age that I didn't really get until I was like 18. I graduated high school. That's about when I started discovering all this. So my encouragement to you would be, after Vacation Bible School, after we're done here, don't wait until another year to come have fun with us. Come have fun with us now. You can come to Sunday school, there's church, there's so many things going on during the year, and we can tell you about that just any time. Don't miss out like I did. I missed out on so much fun stuff, and we want you to be part of that. And we don't want you just wondering how to be a Christian. There's people here that can help you know what it means to be a Christian, so don't miss out.
All right, so how many of you guys think that we as adults had fun with you this week? Do you think we had fun? Do you think maybe one day you'd like to do what we're doing? Well, guess what? When I was a little girl, I lived in a little town, Pickens, South Carolina, and my mom and dad would take me to Bible school, and my mom would work in Bible school. And I had the best parents and the best grandparents who taught me about God, and that He was the creator of everything. And once I got a little bit older, I finally understood, wait a minute, there is a God who made all of us, and He loves us all so much. And so my mom would encourage me to read my Bible, because she would always tell me, the only way that you can know God is by reading about Him. And if you know Him, you can trust Him, Lisa. So you need to make sure you know as much as you can about God. So when I was little, who do you think read the Bible to me? My mom and my dad and my grandparents. So I know all of you guys have an adult or someone with you that can read, and I would encourage you to read, and so that you can know God. Because I know these people right here because I have a relationship with them. I can talk to them. I can ask them questions. Can you guys ask God questions? Yeah. You can. Will you always hear a voice that answers that question? No. But God has put everything that He wants us to know in that special book called the Bible, so you can find out your answers there. So to trust God, you have to know who He is, just like I trust all my friends that are sitting on the stage and some of you there, because I know you. So my mom was really, really big on me knowing the Bible and knowing God. Do I know everything about the Bible? Do you think even as an adult I have to go ask questions? I do. So I have Sunday school teachers, I have friends, I have ministers, and they help me get to know God better so that I know I can trust Him in what He tells me, and I know that He loves me and is always with me. So I know one day when I'm a little old lady with my cane walking around at church, I'm going to see some of you guys up here leading Bible school and teaching other kids about God and His love, and I'm so excited about that. Thanks for letting me do that this week.
Okay, I'm on the other end of the extreme. I'm the youngest one here. So I'm 2 years out from Vacation Bible School, from actually sitting where y'all are sitting. And it's been fun. There's a camp that Chase was talking about the other day called Camp Recall. It's up in Pickens. It's called. It's a really fun camp, and I accepted Christ there 2 years ago this summer, and so it was fun. And then a couple weeks later, I came up front here at church and told Dr. Thompson. And the funny thing was, I don't even remember the song that was playing when I came up, but afterwards, my grandma told me that was the same song she accepted Christ to, which I thought was really cool. And so, it's just been fun. I mean, I've been at youth for 2 years, and God's really helped me along this road. Thanks.
Well, I know you guys have heard everything that everybody said about when they have, invited Christ into their heart. And I just, if any of y'all feel like y'all are ready or God is speaking to you and you might want to talk to somebody, all of the youth here that's been with you all week would love to talk to y'all as well as the leaders. So if there's anybody that you want to talk to more about it, just come to one of us and we'd love to help you.
And guys, I just want to say, the reason we're all up here is because we love y'all so much, and we love doing this for y'all. So please don't let it be another year until we see your faces again, especially our visitors. Please come. We have so many fun activities and things going on at our church. Wednesday night activities when school starts back, and just so many more things. So if y'all had fun this week, you need to come back. We really, really want to see you. Okay? So don't wait another year.